Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, why? Why are we all here? What's out there? And how does it all work? Well, you're certainly not alone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Big Why. I'm just as curious as you are about the universe and everything in it. From the depths of the ocean to the furthest reaches of space, no question is too big, no topic too strange for us. We'll crack open the mysteries of black holes, journey to the edge of the universe, and explore the mind-blowing discoveries that are changing our world. So if you're ready to unleash your inner scientist, ask the tough questions, and explore the universe alongside me, then buckle up and let's ask why. We often think of ourselves as separate individuals, distinct from the world around us. But what if there's a deeper connection? A shared consciousness that unites all living beings and even the cosmos itself. This is the essence of the concept of Anima Mundi, the world soul, a timeless idea that has captivated philosophers, mystics, and spiritual seekers throughout history. In this video, we'll explore the Anima Mundi, delving into its origins in ancient philosophies, its manifestations in various spiritual traditions, and its potential implications for our understanding of the interconnectedness of life and the universe. We'll examine the concept of a universal consciousness that permeates all things, the idea that we are all part of a greater whole, and the potential for this concept to inspire a deeper sense of connection and compassion for all living beings. Whether you're a spiritual seeker, a philosophy enthusiast, or simply curious about the nature of reality, this exploration promises to expand your understanding of the world and your place within it. The concept of Anima Mundi is a profound and enduring idea that has captivated thinkers across cultures and centuries. It proposes an intrinsic connection between all living beings, suggesting that the world itself possesses a soul or animating force, much like the soul is believed to be connected to the human body. This concept originated in classical antiquity, with roots in ancient Greek philosophy and various spiritual traditions. In Greek, the term psyche encompasses both the individual soul and the soul of the world, highlighting the interconnectedness of all life. The Latin term anima carries a similar dual meaning, referring to both the individual soul and the vital principle that animates the cosmos. While the concept of a world soul is often associated with ancient thought, it continued to influence later European philosophers including Baruch Spinoza, Gottfried Leibniz, Immanuel Kant, Friedrich Schelling, and George Hegel. Spinoza, a 17th century rationalist philosopher, proposed a monistic view of reality where God and nature are one and the same. This implies that the universe itself is imbued with consciousness or mind, a concept that resonates with the Anima Mundi. Leibniz, a contemporary of Spinoza, developed the concept of monads, simple, indivisible substances that are fundamental building blocks of reality. He suggested that each monad possesses a unique perspective and degree of consciousness, contributing to a collective consciousness or harmony of the universe. Kant, an 18th century German philosopher, explored the idea of a transcendental unity of apperception, a unifying principle that synthesizes our diverse experiences into a coherent whole. This concept, while not explicitly equivalent to the Anima Mundi, suggests a deeper interconnectedness between individual minds and the world they perceive. Schelling, a German idealist philosopher, embraced the concept of the world soul more explicitly, viewing it as a creative force that animates and unites all aspects of reality. He saw the natural world as a living organism, imbued with the spiritual essence that permeates all things. Hegel, another German idealist, developed the concept of the Weltgeist, or world spirit, which represents the collective consciousness of humanity and the historical unfoldings of reason in the world. While not identical to the Anima Mundi, the Weltgeist shares a similar emphasis on the interconnectedness of human consciousness and the broader unfolding of history. The Anima Mundi, with its roots in ancient philosophy and its continued influence on modern thought, invites us to contemplate the profound interconnectedness of all life and the possibility of a universal consciousness that transcends our individual selves. The concept of Anima Mundi found a prominent place in the philosophy of Plato and his followers. Plato himself adhered to this idea, envisioning the cosmos as a living being endowed with the soul and intelligence. In his dialogue, Timaeus, he described this living cosmos as a creation of the demiurge, a divine craftsman who fashioned it to be self-identical and intelligible to reason. This living universe, according to Plato, is a single visible entity containing all other living creatures, which are akin to it by nature. It is a grand, harmonious whole, guided by a rational pattern expressed in mathematical mathematical principles and Pythagorean ratios. Plato's Timaeus also identifies this living universe as a god, named Uranos and Cosmos. This depiction, as scholars have argued, demonstrates Plato's attempt to bridge the gap between the poetic traditions of his time and the earlier pre-Socratic philosophers who also sought to understand the fundamental nature of the cosmos. Following Plato's lead, the concept of the world soul became a central component in Neoplatonic cosmology. Neoplatonists, who sought to synthesize and expand upon Plato's teachings, further explored the relationship between the world soul, the demiurge, and the seven planets. They saw the world soul as a mediating force between the divine realm and the material world, connecting all things in harmonious and interconnected whole. The world soul, in Neoplatonic thought, was not simply a metaphorical concept, but a living reality that permeated the cosmos, animating it with intelligence and purpose. This idea had a profound impact on subsequent philosophical and spiritual traditions, influencing thinkers across centuries and cultures. The Stoics, a school of Hellenistic philosophy founded in 3rd century BCE, held a unique perspective on the Anima Mundi, considering it to be a sole vital force in the universe. In Stoic cosmology, the universe is a living, breathing organism imbued with a divine essence known as pneuma. This pneuma, often translated as breath or spirit, is a fiery substance that permeates all things, from the smallest particles to the vast expanse of the cosmos. For the Stoics, the pneuma was not just a physical force, but also a rational and intelligent principle that governs the universe. It was seen as the source of all life, motion, and order, guiding the unfolding of events and ensuring the harmonious function of the cosmos. In human beings, the pneuma manifests as the soul or psyche, which is responsible for our rational faculties, emotions, and desires. The Stoics believe that our individual souls are fragments of the universal pneuma connected to the world soul and ultimately to the divine logos, the rational principle that governs the universe. This Stoic view of the Anima Mundi emphasized the interconnectedness of all things and the inherent rationality of the universe. It offered a holistic perspective on life in the cosmos, suggesting that we are not isolated individuals but rather integral parts of a greater whole, animated by a shared vital force. The Stoic conception of the Anima Mundi, with its emphasis on the unity of the universe and the interconnectedness of all beings, has resonated with many thinkers throughout history, influencing philosophical and spiritual traditions across cultures and time periods. The concept of the world soul also found its way into Gnosticism, a diverse set of religious and philosophical movements that flourished in the early centuries of the Common Era. Gnosticism, which emphasized spiritual knowledge as the path to salvation, drew inspiration from various sources, including Platonism and early Christianity. With Gnosticism, the world soul has often associated with the figure of Sophia, a divine feminine principle representing wisdom and knowledge. Sophia was seen as a creative and generative force, responsible for the manifestation of the material world. However, in some Gnostic myths, Sophia falls from grace, becoming entangled in the material realm and giving rise to the demiurge, a lesser creator god who is responsible for the imperfections and sufferings of the world. In this context, the world soul is seen as both a source of creation and a source of suffering, reflecting the Gnostic dualistic view of the universe as a battleground between good and evil. Despite the complex and often contradictory nature of the Gnostic beliefs, the concept of the world soul remained a central theme in many Gnostic systems of thought. It offered a way to understand the interconnectedness of all things, the origins of the material world, and the potential for spiritual liberation from the constraints of physical existence. The Gnostic interpretation of the world soul, with its emphasis on spiritual knowledge and the quest for salvation, added a new dimension to this ancient concept. It highlighted the potential for the world soul to be both the source of enlightenment and the source of suffering, depending on one's relationship to it. This complex and multifaceted understanding of the world soul continues to intrigue and inspire spiritual seekers and scholars alike. The concept of the world soul also found a unique expression in Manichaeism, a dualistic religion founded in the 3rd century AD. In Manichaeism, the universe is divided into two opposing realms, the realm of light representing good and the realm of darkness representing evil. In this dualistic framework, the world soul, also known as the light soul or living soul, was seen as a divine entity trapped within the material world of darkness. This imprisonment of the world soul in matter was a central theme in Manichaean cosmology, representing the struggle between good and evil. The Manichaeans personified the world soul as a suffering Jesus, a figure similar to the historical Jesus, who was believed to be crucified in the world. This mystical crucifixion was not limited to the cross but extended to all parts of the material world, including the sky, soil, and even trees. This idea is expressed in Coptic Manichaean psalms, which lament the suffering of the world soul and express the yearning for its liberation from the clutches of darkness. The Manichaean concept of the world soul, while rooted in dualistic cosmology, also emphasized the interconnectedness of all things. The suffering of the world soul was seen as a reflection of suffering inherent in the material world, and its liberation represented the ultimate triumph of good over evil. This unique interpretation of the world soul highlights the diverse ways in which this concept has been adapted and reinterpreted throughout history. While the specific details may vary, the underlying theme of a universal consciousness or life force that connects all things remains a powerful and enduring idea. The concept of a world soul also finds parallels in Mandaeism, a Gnostic religion with roots in ancient Mesopotamia. In Mandaeism, the world soul is not explicitly named as such, but it bears resemblances in the concept of mana, a complex and multifaceted term with various interpretations. Mana can be variously translated as mind, soul, treasure, garment, intelligence, heart, spirit, or being. It has been compared to the philosophical concept of nous, which is intellect or mind, and carries connotations of consciousness, awareness, and divine essence. In Mandaean scriptures, mana is often depicted as a lamenting entity, expressing sorrow for its descent into the material world. This echoes the Gnostic and Manichaean themes of a divine soul trapped within the confines of matter. However, mana also represents a source of knowledge and enlightenment, a pathway to spiritual liberation. It is seen as a divine spark within each individual, a connection to the transcendent realm of light and truth. The Mandaean concept of mana, while not directly equivalent to the Anima Mundi, shares some key similarities. Both concepts emphasize the interconnectedness of all things, the presence of a spiritual essence within the universe, and the potential for individual consciousness to transcend the limitations of the material world. By exploring the diverse interpretations of the world soul across different cultures and religious traditions, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the universality of this concept and its enduring relevance for understanding the nature of consciousness and our place in the cosmos. The concept of Anima Mundi continued to evolve and find new interpretations during the 12th century Renaissance and the rise of Scholasticism. The school of Chartres, a prominent intellectual center of the time, delved into Plato's Timaeus and explored the nature of the world soul. Thinkers like William of Contius and Bernardus Silvestris, influenced by Neoplatonic interpretations, began to see connections between the world soul and the Christian Holy Spirit. They suggest that the world soul, as described by Plato, could be understood as a veiled or metaphorical representation of the Holy Spirit, a divine force that animates and sustains the universe. However, this interpretation was not without controversy. Peter Abelard, a renowned theologian and philosopher, faced condemnation from Bernard of Clairvaux and the Council of Sens in 1141 for expressing views that were seen as too closely aligned with pantheism, the belief that God is identical to the universe. William of Contius, perhaps wary of facing similar accusations, retracted his earlier writings on the world soul and revised his work in De Philosophia Mundi to avoid further discussion of this potentially contentious topic. Despite these challenges, the exploration of the Anima Mundi within the context of Scholasticism demonstrates the ongoing fascination with this concept and its potential to bridge philosophical and theological perspectives. It highlights the dynamic interplay between ancient wisdom of Christian theology as thinkers sought to reconcile classical ideas with their religious beliefs. The concept of the Anima Mundi also found expression in Hermeticism, an esoteric philosophical and religious tradition that emerged in the late antiquity and Renaissance periods. Hermetic philosophers like Paracelsus and Robert Fludd drew inspiration from a variety of sources, including ancient Egyptian and Greek philosophy, as well as Jewish and Christian mysticism. Paracelsus, a 16th century Swiss physician and alchemist, viewed the world soul as a vital force that permeates all of nature, connecting humans, animals, plants, and even minerals. He believed that this universal soul could be accessed and harnessed through alchemic practices, leading to healing and transformation. Robert Fludd, a 17th century English physician and occultist, further developed the Hermetic concept of the Anima Mundi. He envisioned the world soul as a vast network of interconnected energies, with the human soul being a microcosm of the larger cosmic soul. Fludd believed that by understanding the principles of the world soul, one could gain insight into the hidden workings of the universe and achieve spiritual enlightenment. The Hermetic conception of the Anima Mundi emphasized the interconnectedness of all things and the underlying unity of the cosmos. It offered a holistic view of reality, where the human soul was not seen as separate from the world, but an integral part of a larger cosmic order. This Hermetic perspective, with its emphasis emphasis on the spiritual dimensions of the natural world and the interconnectedness of all beings has continued to influence esoteric and mystical traditions to this day. It provides a rich and complex framework for understanding the relationship between the individual soul and the universal soul, offering insights into the nature of consciousness, the healing power of nature, and the potential for spiritual transformation. The concept of a world soul or universal consciousness also resonates with Jewish mysticism, particularly in Kabbalistic tradition. A parallel concept can be found in the notion of supernal wisdom. Supernal wisdom is a transcendent and all-encompassing wisdom that permeates and gives life to all of creation. It is a divine energy that flows through the universe, connecting all beings and things in a harmonious whole. In the teachings of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, a prominent Hasidic mystic, this sublime wisdom is not merely an abstract concept, but a living reality that can be apprehended by a perfect tzaddik, a righteous individual who has achieved a high level of spiritual attainment. The tzaddik, through their deep connection of the divine, is said to attain cosmic consciousness, an expanded awareness of the interconnectedness of all things. This heightened awareness empowers the tzaddik to mitigate conflict and disharmony in the world, bringing healing and reconciliation to individuals and communities. The concept of supernal wisdom, like the Anima Mundi, emphasizes the interconnectedness of all life in the presence of a unifying force within the universe. It offers a spiritual perspective on consciousness, suggesting that our individual awareness is connected to a greater cosmic consciousness. This idea has profound implications for our understanding of our place in the world and our responsibility towards others. It encourages us to seek deeper connections with the divine and with each other, recognizing that we are all part of a larger cosmic being. The concept of a world soul or universal consciousness is not exclusive to Western thought. Similar ideas can be found in various Eastern philosophies, offering diverse perspectives on the interconnectedness of life in the universe. The concept of Brahman is often seen as analogous to the Anima Mundi. Brahman is the ultimate reality, the supreme cosmic principle that underlies and permeates all of existence. It is often described as pure consciousness, the source and essence of all things. The concept of Purusha, the cosmic self or soul, also shares similarities with the Anima Mundi. Purusha is the eternal and unchanging consciousness that witnesses and encompasses the entire universe. It is the source of all individual souls, which are ultimately manifestations of this universal consciousness. Paramatman, another term used in Hinduism, refers to the supreme self or the highest reality. It is the transcendent aspect of Brahman that dwells within each individual, connecting them to the universal consciousness. In Chinese philosophy, the concept of qi often translates as vital energy or life force, bears resemblance to the Anima Mundi. Qi is believed to be the fundamental substance that flows through all things, animating them with life and consciousness. The school of naturalists, Taoism, and Neo-Confucianism all recognize the importance of qi in understanding the natural world and human experience. They emphasize the interconnectedness of all things, the flow of qi between individuals and the environment, and the importance of cultivating a harmonious relationship with the universal life force. These Eastern philosophical traditions, with their emphasis on interconnectedness, unity, and the underlying consciousness that permeates all of existence, offer rich and diverse perspectives on the concept of Anima Mundi. They challenge us to expand our understanding of consciousness beyond the individual mind and to recognize the profound connections that exist between all living beings in the cosmos itself. We've embarked on a journey through the ages, tracing the concept of the Anima Mundi, from its roots in ancient Greece to its expressions in various spiritual and philosophical traditions across the globe. We've explored its manifestations in Platonism, Stoicism, Gnosticism, Manichaeism, Mandaeism, Scholasticism, Hermeticism, Judaism, and Eastern philosophies like Hinduism and Taoism. The Anima Mundi, with its emphasis on the interconnectedness of all things and the presence of a universal consciousness, continues to captivate and inspire thinkers and spiritual seekers alike. It offers a profound perspective on our relationship with the world, inviting us to see ourselves not as isolated individuals, but as an integral part of a greater whole. Whether you resonate with the philosophical arguments, the mystical interpretations, or spiritual implications of the Anima Mundi, this concept challenges us to expand our understanding of consciousness and our place in the universe. It encourages us to embrace a deeper sense of connection and compassion for all living beings and to recognize the inherent unity of all things. If this exploration has sparked your interest, I encourage you to delve deeper into the rich and diverse traditions that have embraced the concept of the Anima Mundi. Explore the works of Plato, the Stoics, the Gnostics, and the many other thinkers who have pondered this timeless idea. Consider how the concept of a world soul might inform your own understanding of the universe and your place within it. Remember, the quest for understanding is a continuous journey, and the Anima Mundi is a concept that invites us to explore the depths of our own consciousness and the interconnectedness of all life. Thank you all for watching. My name's the Big Y. Don't forget to drop a like, and if you're new to the Why Not family, a follow. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.